Hey, Wes here. Thanks for joining me today. Hopefully you're doing well. I'm having a good day today, and I just got back from the 2025 Southwest Kiln Conference in Safford, Arizona. Had a good time. And one of the things that I did was a demonstration coal firing of primitive pottery. There's a fair amount of evidence that coal was used in prehistoric times in some cases. Other fuels were commonly used as well. So I thought I would show you this demonstration today, maybe make it kind of interesting, hopefully kind of instructive. But it was a noisy kind of active environment, and as a result, didn't get very good sound at the actual conference. So I'm doing a voiceover for much of this, and I think that's actually better because I can explain more things that are going on. I think it's easier to understand. I fired two pots. Here is the first one. And then the second one is here. And just a bit of a spoiler alert, one of them turned out really good, and the other one, well, it cracked, and that kind of happens. But at the end of the video, I will show you what these pots look like, and you can see for yourself. So let's get started.
I'm starting to build the coal wall around the pots, but actually before I did that, I should explain that I preheated the pots. I actually put them in an oven ahead of time, and I also put them next to a primary fire to just make sure that they are 100% dry. Coal fires really ramp up very slowly. I don't worry so much about thermal shock here. It's going to take a full hour at least for this fire to get going at all, and so there just isn't a whole lot of shock. But what you can see, I think, is that I have a metal grate that is raised up on a couple of bricks. And the reason for doing that is two reasons. One is to create enough air ventilation to really fuel the fire with oxygen. The other is to create some space for the ash to fall down. Lignite coal, that's what this is, has a lot of ash. And I've had issues sometimes with the ash kind of choking out the fire. So I wanted to create enough space underneath for the ash to fall down. So the grate is up on a couple of bricks, and then I put some sherds down on top of the grate, and the pot are sitting there. So I have a jar there and a bowl that is leaning next to it. So the next step then is just to build this rock or this coal wall around the pots. It is very much like building a rock wall in your yard. And the idea here is just to find flat pieces of coal that you can build with. It works well to dump all of your coal out on a tarp like this. That way you can pick and choose the pieces that work the best for you. And then you'll notice that I don't put any sherds around the pots themselves. I'll use some a little bit later. You'll see how that works. But the pots are kind of exposed to the coal. And you do get some fire clouds, but not as much as you might think. Now, in general, what you want to do is build this wall up, coming up straight. But if you have to have a choice, you want it to lean in a little bit so that if the coal kind of falls apart once it gets burning, that it falls towards the pots as opposed to away from them. This is lignite coal, and there's some advantages to that. Lignite is the lowest grade coal. It has a lot of impurities in it. So the good news is I think it creates some fuming and some blushing on the pots, some interesting coloration. The other thing is that it kind of comes in flat pieces. I take a hatchet and I can kind of chop at it and slice, and so I can get nice flat surfaces. Makes it so much easier to build this wall. If you're using higher grades of coal like bituminous or anthracite, it's just much harder to stack. It still works, it would be fine, but the lignite seems to work really well. So one of the things I'm doing here, I forgot to do it, is to put a little bit of coal, some small pieces of coal underneath the grate. I don't think you need very much here. You'll get plenty of heat from the coal wall that you are building around. So the wall has been built up. In retrospect, I should have built it up higher, but it still worked out okay. Now this is the one place where you use sherds. What I'm doing is using some larger sherds to bridge from the top of the pot over to the side wall of the coal. And then so what I will do with that then is put coal on top of those sherds. That's the point. So you do want to, the pot is faced upward, so put a cover over the top of that so that the charcoal doesn't fall down into the pot. But then just use several different sherds to kind of, it's like rafters on a roof in a way, to cover the top of the pot. So here you can see that the wall has been totally covered with sherds on the top. Probably a good idea to have some ventilation there. Maybe I should have had more, but in the end it all kind of worked out. And then what I'm going to do here is just start to put coal on top. The idea is to get these pots 100% covered with coal.
The gaps between the pieces of coal seem to give plenty of ventilation. In fact, one of the things that happened is that there were some larger gaps, and I noticed those that are kind of holes in the wall, and as the fire grew, I had to fill those holes in with other pieces of coal. Because one of the things I'm looking for is not only to have consistent coal everywhere, but to have a wall that is strong enough so it doesn't fall apart.
Now, something you can't see off to the side, I have started a primary fire. The primary reason for that is to get this coal going, which is kind of an effort. So the fire, the way I made it is I just used lump charcoal with a lighter fluid and got that going. I added a little bit of coal to it as well. I started it, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes ago to make sure that it was going good. And then I'm just using a shovel to move those fired up coals all around my main fire here. So what you want to do is make sure that your coal fire gets burning evenly all the way around. And that is a bit of a trick. This takes quite a long time for the coal to get started. It's just slow to get started. And I have a feeling that lignite may be more difficult than other kinds of coal. Coal is really slow to start. So what I am doing, in addition to using the charcoal that I pre-started, is I'm adding some wood around here to get a flame. And you can just use wood to get this whole thing going if you want. It just takes more effort. So you have to be patient with this. But again, what you also want to do is make sure that your fire is evenly started all the way around. Ideally, you don't have very much wind. And you can see here, there's a little bit of a breeze, but it's moving around. It's light and variable, which I think is probably pretty good for this kind of a fire.
All right, the coal is stacked up and got a little fire going around the edge.
It's lighting nicely.
I think it is lighting okay. So another hour or so we'll know and see if there's any areas where we have to shore it up a little bit. I'm a little worried about how the top's going to work, but we'll be fine. Okay, the fire has been going on for, I don't know, 4 hours or so, and it's as hot as it's going to be. Didn't get as hot as I wanted, but there's some kind of cool colors going on. So I'm anxious to see what's going to happen with this. Hopefully in another 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours, we can take it apart.
I want to point out that I also put bricks around the perimeter to hold in the coal that is burned and fallen down. Also, the sherds on the very top have fallen down, and I've moved those in a way to protect the the pots and to shield them from thermal shock.
Yeah, so let's see what we get here. It's still pretty hot, but not so hot that I think it's a problem. Yeah, perfection is an illusion anyway, right?
Yeah, it sure is.
So this is the crack here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
so,
Oh,
But you know, Wes, I point out that
beautiful blush.
perfection may be an illusion, but this pot looks pretty close. But
Yeah.
so check out the, you
that
get the
looks
light there.
Jetito.
Yeah.
It's very Jetito-like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But you got
Here,
the
hold that
blush.
back up there. Oh, it's too hot, huh?
Is that going to change as it cools?
No, this won't. There's no red in this. This is all, and actually I got a good brown, Jetito brown paint on this.
Those are such good lines.
Good job, Wes.
Yeah, it turned out pretty good. I'm happy with that.
Beautiful.
Look at that.
On film, when to pick it up.
That's beautiful.
Oh, Andy's.
So,
Yes.
Yes.
So
that's
it's
a
interesting.
Lovely blush.
Look at
it's
that.
interesting how it blushed all around.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh yeah, that's good.
so why do you think that it got the blush on the bottom?
Well, this was covered with sherd right here.
Right. So
And why should it have blush at all, is my question.
Yeah.
Because it's just all cold. There was no urine or dung or anything in there.
Yep.
So the lignite has got a lot of impurities in it.
Maybe that's what you're getting your blush from.
I think
I
so,
would think so too.
somehow.
And if
There's
it's
some
not,
organics in there as well as mineral impuritors.
Appreciate your being here. Thank you for that. And if you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up is appreciated. Subscriptions are great. Sharing it is a big deal. It all helps this little channel grow. And we're doing fine. And I really am grateful for everything that you do. And if you leave a comment, I will do my best to leave a response. So thank you so much. And until next time, wishing you health, happiness, peace, and love. Thank you. Bye-bye.